Does unemployment push people towards becoming a criminal? Because you simply don't go from making $300,000 a year to kidnapping someone. Between 1992 and 1998, the national unemployment rate in the United States continuously dropped, and the FBI's overall crime index fell for 7 straight years. Property crime means a crime committed for the purpose of obtaining money, property, or some other gain. Example of property crime is extortion. And when it comes to property crime rates, the evidence consistently show that unemployment promotes property crime. Moreover, a research by Raul Caruso called "What is the relationship between unemployment and rape?" Evidence from a panel of European regions revealed that rape and sexual crimes are strongly associated with young male unemployment. But wait a second, it's not that simple. The relationship between unemployment and criminal acts is very complicated. It's worth noting that young female unemployment has nothing to do with rape. In fact, young male unemployment appears to be the sole driver of increase in sexual assault. Furthermore, during recession, lower income reduces purchases of essential goods and other potential low-cost theft-worthy items. This reduces the chance of basic and needed item being stolen, but raises the chances of more valuable goods such as gold, watches, and automobiles being stolen. Similarly, alcohol consumption, drug use, and gun availability have independent consequences on criminal conduct. But at the same time, we cannot ignore that any criminal activity, no matter how big or small the charges are, may contribute to observed unemployment to the degree that it affects the employability of the criminal, either through the damaging effect of jail time or a greater unwillingness among the criminals to take legal employment. Furthermore, the level of criminality may limit job creation and lead to regional unemployment. This idea that unemployment causes criminal activities makes a lot of sense, and it is based on the idea that people respond to incentives. When criminal behavior is viewed as a form of employment that needs time and pays well, an intelligent future criminal would compare the benefits and risk of legal and illegal activities and make decisions based on the result. But don't forget, in the first place, unemployment is kicking in this thinking of comparing legal and illegal work. This table shows that a 1% fall in unemployment results in 2% reduction in burglary, 1.5% reduction in larceny, and 1% reduction in motor theft. Moreover, there will most likely be a direct relationship between unemployment and jail population. And yes, it reveals that the bulk of serial criminals do not have a formal job. Repeated criminals make money by committing crime. 28% decline for burglary, 82% decline for larceny, 14% decline for auto theft, and 14% for robbery is attributed to the decline in unemployment rate. If we look at the overall property crime rate, more than 40% of the decline can be attributed to the decline in unemployment. That means when unemployment declines, property crimes decline as well. Unemployment reduces income and potential profits, which raises unlawful behavior. According to a lot of surveys, Nigeria has one of the highest kidnapping rates in the world. Kidnapping is mostly motivated by unemployment, and the country's high unemployment rate has encouraged young people to seek alternative source of income, even if these methods are usually illegal. Unemployed people believe that if they kidnap a wealthy person and demand ransom, they themselves will become wealthy. Unemployment has a favorable and highly substantial impact on property crime for both overall and specific offenses. But as I said, the relationship between crime and unemployment is very complicated. The case of unemployment impacting violent crimes is considerably weaker. For serious violent crimes like murder, the effect of unemployment is unstable. In general, violent crimes are considered much more serious than property crimes. Moreover, while doing the research for this video, I found out that there is a direct relationship between violent crimes and education. Educated people are very less likely to commit a violent crime when compared to uneducated people. And studies show that those who have removed themselves from the labor market in order to attend higher education in form of college or even high school committed significantly fewer crimes. Education may come with higher opportunity cost. A study done by Cohen and Felsen reflected on a very important point that everyone misses. It is called the role of opportunity. This viewpoint is more concerned with the fact that there are more opportunities to abuse than there are reasons to abuse. It claims that unemployment has an impact on how people spend their money and time, as well as on how human activity is distributed physically. Distribution of human activity physically means that when a person is employed, he has to go to office, attend meetings and go for office tours, and all that is very regular stuff. But when a person is unemployed, all these regular stuff do not happen, which makes them more sensitive in terms of getting involved in crime. Unemployment puts people in potential crime-ogenic settings such as hanging out on roadsides, frequently visiting cheap bars, and consistently worrying about paying the bills. Such settings bring together motivated criminals with potential targets and victims. Other labor market factors such as part-time work, day laboring, and interim layoffs, in addition to unemployment, can have similar consequences. They influence how, where, and with whom people spend their time. And all of these situations causes an individual to constantly worry about money. Now let's look at the bigger picture. What the relationship between crime and unemployment can do to a region. Studies suggest that being a victim or a criminal can generate negative labor market outcomes, including lower wages and longer and more frequent unemployment runs because of decreased productivity and psychological costs. In a region where over 60% of the population is under the age of 30, this could contain long-term consequences for growth. The combination of unemployment and criminality decreases young people's economic possibilities, making them more sensitive to abuse or gang membership. These factors limit economic growth by reducing investment due to lower efficiency and increased security costs. They also divert government's money away from growth-enhancing investments like education, productive infrastructure, to making a stronger armed forces. These factors create uncertainty for firms and businesses. Moreover, they force professionals to relocate. We have all seen these visuals. This graph shows victims of crime are more likely to immigrate. As a result, the relationship between crime and unemployment kicks in brain drain as well. The term brain drain refers to a large-scale migration of people. This term often describes the departure of groups of doctors, healthcare professionals, scientists, engineers, or financial professionals. And when these people leave, their places of origin are harmed in two ways. First, expertise is lost with each immigrant worker, diminishing the supply of that profession. Secondly, the country's economy is harmed because each professional is an asset to the economy. And when unemployment and crime is already very high, brain drain hurts the economy even further. And this whole environment kicks in brain drain. According to a recent study by Inter-American Development Bank, direct crime-related expenses in Caribbean cost about 3 to 5% of GDP every year, compared to 2% in advanced nations. This relationship between crime and unemployment is confusing with many fluctuating variables. But one thing is for sure, criminal activities puts a lot of burden on the overall employment market and the condition of an economy.